A former secretary in Thabo Mbeki's office has appeared in court on fraud charges. She and her husband are accused of telling a luxury hotel that the president's office would pay for their wedding. But Mbeki's office knew nothing about it, and now the couple are spending their honeymoon in jail.
Lebohang Molotsane is a former secretary in Thabo Mbeki's office. She gave the luxury hotel a letter printed in an official letterhead. It said the highest office in the land was going to pay for the wedding. Not suspecting any foul play, the hotel obliged and gave Molotsane and her husband Benjamin Matley a wedding to remember.
What a peaceful place to get married, but what if you don't have the money for all this luxury? This is the dilemma that was facing the couple, and their solution, it seems, was to get someone else to pay for it.
The couple's lavish expenses included award-winning wines, dinners in the VIP section, and the ceremony itself on this luxury boat. The bill eventually came to 50,000 rand. The hotel only realized they had been duped when they sent an invoice to the presidency. It replied that Molotsane was no longer in their employ.
We do a lot of business with government clients, and this has never happened before. And normally in business there's a level of risk where you have to trust your clients, and especially when it comes from the highest office in the land, in the presidency, we took it as legitimate.
The couple appeared in court without their wedding rings on several charges of fraud. They'll stay behind bars for another 7 days while the president's office draws up its own fraud charges. Macintosh and Zamande, in News, Vereniging.
Firefighters in the Western Cape have been battling over 100 wildfires, and reinforcements are now being flown in from other provinces to help out. The fires have been raging across the province for the past few days.
Exhausted and filthy, hundreds of firefighters have been working around the clock without break. In just 5 hours, the Cape Town Fire Control Centre alone responded to 89 calls. The largest fire threatened to engulf a number of factories at Atlantis on the west coast. Plumes of dense smoke blanketed the town, and with 15 fire engines stretched to the limit, factory workers pitched in to help. Even then, ground crews were overwhelmed as the fire spread to 9 different areas and air support was called in. It took 2 helicopters assisted by a spotter plane close to 3 hours to get the fires under control.
As evening falls on Atlantis, firefighters in and around town prepare for a tough few hours. They're anticipating flare-ups overnight, so they'll be working right through, covering an area of up to 20 square kilometers.
A day earlier, they'd been fighting another massive fire in Khayelitsha on the outskirts of Cape Town that razed hundreds of shacks. The hot, dry weather and windy conditions are set to continue, and local firefighters are taking no chances. 80 additional firefighters from the Eastern Cape and the Free State are expected to arrive in Cape Town on Friday and will be staying for a month. Despite the number of fires across the province, no injuries have yet been reported. Lukhani Chalata, E-News, Atlantis.
A convicted pedophile in the United States has been bused, posing as a school pupil. The man has managed to enroll himself at several schools, even though he's more than twice the age of the children.
29-year-old Neil Roderick is a convicted sex offender. Posing as a 12-year-old, he enrolled in this middle school. For 6 weeks, he sat side by side with the children.
He was a quiet student. He turned in his homework.
His classmates say he wore makeup and didn't have many friends. Teachers started to get suspicious and called the police in.
He was here for 50 days?
Yeah, 7th grade.
Very shocking.
Police are trying to determine if anyone was sexually abused.
We were upset.
But what's got everyone really worried is that this isn't the first time. Police have since discovered he was registered at 3 other schools.
And here's a look at other news making headlines from around the world.
A Belgian skydiver is accused of murdering her love rival by sabotaging her parachute. The women were both members of the same skydiving club and both were having a relationship with a fellow skydiver. The alleged victim plunged 1,300 meters to her death into a suburban garden when her chute failed to open. Police say they have enough evidence to charge the suspect with murder, but she's protesting her innocence, and other parachutists believe the dead skydiver may have taken her own life. Mount Cook in New Zealand has claimed the lives of 2 Japanese climbers. They fell to their deaths while abseiling down the South Island's highest mountain, but a third climber with them had a miraculous escape. A falling rock severed the rope connecting him to his 2 companions, and he survived. And Japan wants to resume commercial whaling. It'll be raising the issue with the International Whaling Commission next week. Japan already catches hundreds of whales each year under a research program and claims it only targets non-endangered species. But Greenpeace says it'll be stepping up its anti-whaling campaign. Last year, activists risked their lives to come between whalers and their prey. Greenpeace promises more of the same this year.
Up next, Edwin Khaswe with your sports news.
Thanks, Pat. With Herschel Gibbs banned from tomorrow's test, the Proteas are forced to juggle the lineup for the decider against Pakistan.